Hey, everybody. It's me, Mantus. I am the host of the Pox Show because it's no longer Pox. It's me, Mantus. Pox is out indefinitely as he tries to discover new principles of being. And he'll be back with us any day now with some new instructions for our own journeys into enlightenment. So hail Satan and hail Pox. And let's start the show. Hey, we're back with Linda Lynch of Windwalker Healing. And, we talked with her a little bit last week about, her life as a witch. And so now we want to get a little bit deeper into one aspect of it, which is ghost hunting. I understand you have a ghost hunting team that you've worked with.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you got started ghost hunting? That sounds pretty interesting.
Well, I met a young woman who was a very prominent ghost hunter at this point, and she was just starting to develop her gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I helped her along with that and taught her how to table tip, and we started ghost hunting together, and she just grew up and expanded. Now she travels the country and does lots of stuff. But I decided, hey, this is really cool. I went out and I bought all this equipment and supposed to measure all this energy from spirits. We used to go to Radio Shack and an old transistor radio, and you could adjust it so that the dial would keep skipping, go through channels, and then when a ghost needed to talk through it, you would hear something come through, some words.
What is it called?
Yeah.
The electronic...
Yeah, the EMF is something different.
EMF, yeah.
Now they have these big fancy, you can pay a lot of money for, voice boxes, that was supposed to do the voices. I've seen them. Yeah, they're okay.
So you were doing this back in the day, in the old school day, when it was literally
I was doing
just
it 10 years ago.
The channels between the stations that was just basically like radio wave static, and you could hear, like voices like coming through the radio waves.
Yeah, right. It's the same thing as having the white noise.
Right.
Except the channels would be. So
that's old school. And now these young kids, they don't even understand. Now they just have devices.
Right. Now half the time I just use a compass.
Right.
Because the compass will go wackadoodle when you're around energy. And I had a couple of other friends, like I said, that liked it. So we've formed Veil's Edge Paranormal. Mm-hmm. And Veil's Edge being on the edge of the veil between this world and the other.
Hey, you! What are you doing here? Now you see him. Now you don't. Hold your breath and save your laughs when Bela Lugosi, that master of horror, meets those gloom-busting East Side kids. Even a respectable ghost gets a nervous breakdown.
It says here that in the night he prowls about seeking new victims, and in the daytime he sleeps in a coffin.
Well, let's wait till daytime, huh?
We ain't waiting for nothing. We're going right now. Go ahead, open it. Oh, you open it. Maybe it ain't supposed to be open till Christmas.
Who are you? You don't remember me. But 20 years ago in this very house, you scared the health out of me.
Out here at Fall River, we have Lizzie Bullock's house.
Right.
I've been to several times. You guys ever come out and visit? We'll go see it.
Sure.
You could stay there for the night for about $300 or $400. also have a fort down here, Fort Tabor, that open up once or twice a year, and a lot of ghost hunters come down there.
What's the oldest spirit that you've ever encountered?
When I went to Italy, I found it really interesting because we would go to a lot of the ruins, and I would be hearing all the different languages, and I'd be, Al, listen, I'm hearing this. I don't know what the languages are, and I'm hearing swords. I was hearing all this different stuff. Then he explained to me that we were in what was at one time a marketplace area where gladiators would train. So that's why I was hearing the swords.
Too bad you didn't like learn Latin or something like that, and you could, when you were there, and you could have been like, oh, they're talking about this.
Yeah, I didn't even know enough Italian then to figure it out.
Right.
And that really got me into the ghost hunting. So, of course, you know, Al, he wanted to be part of it, and he would videotape some of the places that we did. And we would just go around and we would ask questions. My recorder, sometimes it picks it up, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it was a feeling you got or a message I got. There was a house in Connecticut. We got special permission to go in, and we went in and we got a couple of good messages. And when we were doing the Root Cellar, which of course was dirt, now you have to remember that back in the 1600s, if you died in the winter, they couldn't bury you. So
Right. The ground was too hard, yeah.
We went to the Root Cellar.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was cold.
Yeah.
And when we were recording down there, and he had his big fancy camera, and he played back, he got messages on the camera that I didn't pick up on my recorder.
Oh, that's cool.
He had a little boy going monster.
Mm-hmm.
Well, probably there were 2 little kids that lived in that house, and they probably went to the Root Cellar and saw a dead body down there.
That's a different kind of Stand By Me.
Yeah. We didn't get what we were hoping for, more stuff, but at the very end, we were all sitting in one of the bedrooms and listening to the recording after the fact, like a couple of days later. You hear these big, like somebody knocked something down, but we were all in the room together. So we don't know what it was.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
We didn't hear it at the time, but it was on the recording.
Oh man, that's cool.
Hi, I'm Linda Lynch, and I'm from Vale's Edge Paranormal, and today I'm sitting with Colin McKenzie, President Emeritus of the Highland House.
And it was built by George Highland, who at the time was one of the wealthier sheep herders. He raised sheep here.
Do you know of any tragedies in the house, or?
Well, not that have been written about. I mean, we know certainly that some of the family, of course, they all died, and there's every reason to believe that at the occasion of their death, that their bodies would have been waked here in the house. As I explained earlier, there's a door at the side of the house, the original door that would have been used to carry coffins in.
Okay, first on the agenda tonight is to go into the Root Cellar. I'm going to take a couple of EMF readers with me. Some cellars, not saying necessarily this one, but the bodies were kept down there when it was too cold to dig to bury them. So who knows what we'll find down there. So why don't you come along and join us? Okay, now I was told there's a burial mound down here, so.
Okay, we are in the Highland House. This is.
Okay, there's nothing around you to cause that to go off.
Not that I know of. I just moved over 3 steps.
We are in the Highland. Are you welcome, children?
I mean, this is something that could be caused from the electrical box, but you're not right on top of it. And my meter is right over here, and it's up to 6.
Do you need to do that, though? Is there anything you would like to say?
Yeah, mine just went up to 7. So no doubt there's something down here. Okay, well, we're on our way back up. We're going to explore some of the other rooms. We did get a couple of sounds downstairs, and our meters did bounce around. So we're going to go check and see what's cooking upstairs. There's a very adorable little tea set over here, and I know that one of the children that are here, there's a little girl, as well as a mischievous little boy. So if you'd like to come down, I'd be happy to play house with you. Okay, we're going to start recording this room. This is another bedroom. Wonderful big fireplace. If you'd like to sit and rock in a rocking chair, in fact, let's do the little light one. And we're going to put it over here by the fireplace, which I'm sure that somebody has sat at one point in time. Are you part of the house? So Colin was just saying that this part of the wall over here actually had a door here, and the door was used to bring the coffins in, because in those days they didn't have funeral homes in the 1600s, 1700s, and people were waked in their homes. So I'm sure there is some energy here from somebody that has passed over. If you're here checking things out, what do you think of how they've made this into a museum and have saved the house from being demolished?
I got a little boy whose mother was the maid there, and he used to bury things outside by the apple tree.
Right.
Well, of course, there's no apple tree there now, but I did talk to the Stolson, and he said yes, there was. And when they did dig it, when they did cut it down, they did find forks, little toys, all kinds of things buried.
Oh, that's cool.
Hi, I'm Mike Wallace with a sensational shortening discovery for better baking and frying. It's Procter & Gamble's Golden Fluffle, the first all-new shortening in 40 years. It's rich. Its color is golden yellow, and what a pie it makes. Richer looking, better tasting, more appetizing. But let's hear what Mrs. Thelma Styra, Indiana State Fair baking champion, had to say about Fluffle.
I love Fluffle. It makes such a golden brown pie.
Oh, man, that's some apple pie.
Well, Mr. Wallace, that's a prettier pie than I ever baked with plain white shortening. And look how flaky it is. This yellow Fluffle is such a short shortening. Makes pie crust so rich.
Like cooking champions, get richer looking, better tasting, more appetizing results in everything you bake or fry. Get Golden Fluffle.
So you were telling me about an Airbnb in
Right.
It's somewhere?
It's about 20 minutes from Guilford.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there. We had done the table tipping there. But before we do the table tipping, I kind of like to do, like you take a water glass, tip it upside down, put your finger on it, and you ask spirit to come in and start moving it around.
Okay.
Pick up the energy in the house.
Right.
And we were doing it. There was like 6 or 7 of us at the table, and Al was recording it.
Okay.
But he was still non-believer, and he told me, he says, "You're moving it." And I said, "I'm not moving it." So I get up from the table. My granddaughter sat down. I said, "You're going to be the conduit." I said, "You do it." And I said, I forget who the woman's name was. That was the spirit in the house. We were talking to Henrietta or something. We were talking to her. And I said, "We have a non-believer here. Can you show him you're real. And all of a sudden the glass started spinning on the table with everybody's finger and it shot right at him.
Oh, wow.
Right in his lap. So, and of course we didn't have that on the tape because.
Right, of course, yeah. Because that's how it, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to roll a clip. Our producer has informed me.
Okay, Linda, why don't you tell me what's going on?
Okay, right now what we're going to try to do is just raise a little energy and see if there's anybody actually here tonight. They might want to show us this way because sometimes this is a little bit easier for them. So what everybody is going to do is just very lightly, please, put your finger on the glass. And what I want to do first is surround the table in white light, okay, to keep us all protected because we are opening a portal. And I'm asking that if anybody of the light is here and they would like to come in and speak with us, we welcome them to come in and show themselves to us. Okay, I'm sorry, okay, there we go. Come on, can you give us a little more action than that? I've seen glasses spin across the table. Well, that's a little bit better. We got a non-believer sitting at the table over here. You want to give him a little action and show him that there really is a world beyond ours? You can move your finger. Just checking Marcy out. I just got a fingernail on it, so so you know it's not me pushing the thing around, okay? Okay, so what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's very cool because if you look at the bottom of the glass, you just see kind of like smudges, okay? Now if I was to push down and make that same thing, you can see
your fingerprint.
How much different the fingerprint was. These are just light smudges. There's really not, no one was really pressing down because the other thing is, when you press down, you could see, in order for me to press down, I have to make this move. You could see
your finger,
my finger, and you could also see, but everyone's finger was just resting, and you didn't see any depression. That was very, very cool.
And I took my hand off so that you wouldn't think I was pushing it around.
Yeah.
You know.
And like I said, you could tell by I was watching everyone's fingers, and no one was pressing enough that they're going to make it move by themselves.
Ready to eat. Okay.
So
That's
it was
okay.
that was very interesting.
So we know there are spirits here in the house.
Hey, we're back from the clip. That was really cool.
So there are spirits in a lot of places.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's just like anywhere that, humans have roamed, it's got to be just like hundreds of thousands of years worth of spirits. But it seems like most of them will, like I feel like a lot of them will want to cross over and then like come back or do whatever that they.
A lot of them do, but some people get stuck here.
Right.
It's like you watch the movies on TV and they talk to you about ghosts being stuck in a loop.
Right.
And yeah, they do.
That's got to be pretty rare though, right?
It
like,
is.
For like a ghost to be around for like 10,000 years or something like that.
Yeah, sometimes maybe they just don't know they're dead.
Maybe, yeah. It seems like it would be very traumatic to just be here.
Well, you got to figure if you did something horrific in your life and you died, you're going to afraid what direction you're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
They might not want to pass over, because they're afraid of where they're going to have to face things. Murder, suicide, accident, a shocking death. Sometimes, it makes it harder for them to realize that they have passed and to go over.
Right. Because you have to accept that you've passed, right? There has to be a little bit of that. You can't just...
I believe so, You could be in places and you'll hear somebody call your name, or you just hear sounds, but there's nobody there. You shouldn't be. We did a hotel once. We set up cameras in the room, video cameras, and spirits suck energy out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So every time we'd go back, all the batteries would be dead.
Oh, man.
Okay. So we'd put in, I would bring 2 or 3 charged batteries with me and go back a little while later, they'd all be dead. Another one, I did it with a friend of mine. He asked me to do it with him. And we had a pen light. They would put all those little green dots all over, and we put it on a staircase because the people in the house had seen a Confederate soldier walk down the stairs. But you see me walking through it, you see him walking through it, and you see an orb following us walking through the light.
Oh, wow.
And so afterwards, we had to sit down with the family and give a report. And I said to them, "Oh, where's your sister? You brought your sister with you, didn't you?" And they all looked at me like, "What the hell?" They brought her ashes.
Oh, that's...
I've had fun with it. I've never been scared.
I was going to ask you about that. It seems like it's like they're not, like, mostly they're not out to like hurt anybody. Like that's like there's a difference between like encountering a spirit versus like something that's more malevolent.
Right. Well, we've done a table tipping at the Lizzie Borden house, and the girl that was holding the seance, one of the guys that was with us, he was a Fall River cop at the time, still is, but he was sitting between the table and the wall, and he was aggravating Mr. Borden, calling him out and accusing him of things. All of a sudden, the table just slid and pinned him against the wall.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I think you pissed him off. Just a little bit, maybe.
So you have your team that kind of helps with that. Now, do all of them have any kind of like sensitivity like you do, or is this, or you're just
Lana does. That's kind of why we all got together.
Okay.
My granddaughter Rebecca, if there's bad energy around, she gets sick. Gets a real bad stomach ache. I actually had her come with me to look at a building I was going to rent an office space in.
Right.
And she walked in, she goes, "I don't feel good." By the time we got to the back of the building, she was almost throwing up. She was so sick.
Oh, wow.
But the plumbing was all backed up. That was bad energy.
Yeah. This is like a family talent too, right?
Yeah.
So, is this something that anyone can start doing? Like, what if, like, do you need to have any kind of, it's like spiritual sensitivity?
It helps.
It helps.
It helps, but you don't have to.
Right.
You just have to have a belief that there is spirit here on earth. Sometimes it's just like getting a sense. I went to another place Al took me to. It's now kind of a museum. They actually have farmers markets out there. And he took me to look at the house, and there was a tree outside. And I said, "That's a beautiful tree." And I said, "You know what? A man hung himself from that tree."
Oh, wow.
Okay, I didn't see it, but I felt it, I heard it. And everybody we asked said, "Oh, that didn't happen." Well, it turned out somebody who knew somebody knew more of the history of the house and found out the owner had hung himself at one point.
Oh, man.
It's nice to get validation, because if I don't say to you, "Wow, I feel this, this, and this," and you say, "Yeah, I do," or "No, I don't," how do I get validation?
Right, exactly, yeah.
So, I mean, you could go out, you could spend lots of money like I did at one time. I had the night vision, and I had the infrared, I had the heat things, all that stuff. And it's, like I said, it's fun having the toys. But as long as you believe, you can feel. You know, when they say, you know, the hair on the back of your neck goes up.
Right.
Okay, that type of thing.
You know, Colin Wilson, I'm sure you're familiar with him. He writes about the occult, or he did. And he had this kind of cool little running theory about how our extra sensory perception has a lot to do with our evolved instinct for, you know, for like danger, and like we've evolved to sense things that are outside of what our, you know, conscious mind is looking at. That's like, yeah, and everyone has that to a degree, and then some people have it more than others, right?
Some people, you know, they don't want to deal with it. And I've met people on the other side who have battled with spirits. And I said, okay, I don't want to go that far. I just want to meet them and say, hey, can I help you? Do you need to be passed over?
Right, right.
Because when you go in and say, oh, yeah, this ghost here, goodbye. What the hell good were you? What did you do? So it's kind of nice to be able to say, do you need help? Can we do something for you? Can we pass you over? Do you need to get a message to somebody? Sometimes we'll get an answer, sometimes we don't. Sometimes just, hey, I'm having fun being here and scaring people out of the hotel or something.
Like just somebody who's mischievous and just like wants to hang out, just throw a spoon every once in a while.
Yeah, and you know, we get them. It's fun. I haven't done any ghost hunting in a long time now. It kind of got to the point where you couldn't go to the bus stop without meeting a ghost. It got to be ghost hunters everywhere.
Well, right, exactly, yeah. I imagine in Massachusetts it would be pretty thick as well.
It's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle on land. We have the red-headed hitchhiker on Route 44. I have a friend of mine who runs ghost tours. There's one you can do down the Cape. It's put on by Cape and Island Paranormal Research. They take you to the oldest wooden jail in the United States. And Rebecca and I went once, and she actually got pushed against the wall.
Oh, wow.
There was nobody around her. Make sure you have permission to where you're going. Yes.
Right, yeah.
You don't want somebody coming out shooting at you or something.
Right.
If you're going into a cemetery to investigate, you need to be respectful.
Of course, yeah.
And when you can talk to Oya or Alagua and ask for permission to go into the cemetery, usually I will leave some pennies and a little bit of wine at the door entrance. And when I leave a cemetery, I walk out backwards for two reasons. One, to show I'm not turning my back on them, so I'm showing respect. Two, I want to make sure nobody's following me out.
Right, yeah.
And I always say, when I leave, you have not got permission to follow me.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Linda, for joining us again and talking about ghost hunting, which is super fascinating.
Well, if you get any emails or anything, we'd be happy to come back and visit.
Absolutely. Again. All right. Take it easy, everybody. I'm Mantus. Hail Satan and Hail Pox, and Hail Hecate.